Today I just want to show you guys the in-game Firewall build. I'll have a link in the description to the Firewall build with uniques and without uniques. I do have all the uniques for it, so I do have that in my build, but you do not necessarily need them. Firewall is a really cool build because it is really good in the early game, so it's probably the best leveling build that Sorcerer really has because it doesn't have a reliance on any aspect. However, it doesn't necessarily scale the best, so you're going to find that once you get to the end game it's going to be weaker than other builds, but at the same time this is a great build that you can start very easily with not really any reliance on legendary aspects or uniques, and then you can use it to farm up for the better builds such as like ball lightning or whatever build you're really wanting to play, right? So just to kind of breeze over the gear, I'll have the stat priorities and stuff like that in the build link. So we're going to go Godslayer Crown. This is going to give us a nice pull effect and a 60% damage amp. We're going to go Raiment. This is going to make things get pulled in after we teleport. It's also going to stun them for 2 seconds. This is particularly good against Suppressor because when you stun them, the Suppressor turns off. So you can kill them really fast, and it can help stop those pesky Suppressors from doing anything. Suppressor isn't really that big of a deal for Firewall, but for other builds it is. But Raiment also gives you ranks into Glass Cannon and just really a bunch of damage. It's just really good. Next, use Edge Masters because this is a pretty high resource build. You aren't really going to be running out of mana a whole lot with this build, so I think this is fine. The other thing you could run here is the one that makes it to where once they get below 50% life they take 50% more burning damage. That one's not too bad either. Then I'm going Sovereign Tacits, so I take 22% less damage from crowd-controlled or vulnerable enemies. One thing I have seen people do is put control on the amulet and then put disobedience on the pants. Or another thing you could do is you could just run Tybalt's Will here if you're feeling kind of feisty. However, I think the higher up you go, you're going to find that you don't really have the survivability for the higher ups if you just go all uniques on. But yeah, so anyway, this is kind of what I'm running right now. So next up we have Sovereign Greaves of the Bounding Conduit. So gain 25% move speed for 3 seconds after teleporting. You can also do the one that gives you move speed with Firewall. Either or I think is fine. The Firewall one might actually be a little bit better. This is just what I'm using at the moment. Keep in mind you can also run Flicker Step here and just not even, because really you already move kind of fast enough, but if you're on Flicker Step, since we do run Inferno in this build, you can reduce the cooldown of Inferno even more, and this is another pull. So you'll see we have 3 pull effects in this build, which is really nice because it just pulls everything into your Firewall. So pretty sweet. But when you do run Flicker Step, you do lose the ability to have like triple resist boots or something like that. So early on you might find it a little bit harder to get your resistances capped out if you do that. That's actually the particular reason why I'm not running Flicker Step right now, is because I want the poison resist on here, and I was also thinking about maybe even running another resist and then putting armor in here and one of my amulets. But yeah, so next up I'm doing Storm Swell. So you deal 23% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. Now one way that we have of making things vulnerable is with Metamorphosis. We're going to go through them with Metamorphosis. That's going to make them vulnerable and give us a damage amp. And it's also going to give us access to vulnerable as well, because that's one of the Sorcerer's biggest issues is access to vulnerable. Now we do run Ice Armor, and you could run Frost Nova or something like that. That would also give you access to vulnerable if you want to do that. That's not a bad idea either. So moving on, I put Disobedience on the necklace because I think that because I'm running these uniques, I need more armor in order to be able to hit the high armor levels, since I'm not running as much armor, to try to make sure that I'm not just dying. Now I am ranged, so you can kite way better. It's not like you're a melee build where you have to face tank things. You can, as long as you stay mobile and run around, you shouldn't have a crazy amount of problems with having lower armor. Sorcerer is one of the few classes that can kind of get away with that. But you'll see here I have like armor on the amulet as well. I do that for a specific reason. I do see some sorcerers running around with like extremely low armor values, and they are able to still clear higher up dungeons, but the thing is what I've noticed playing with them is they kind of just get randomly one-shot, and the reason for that is just because, you know, they're playing a high risk, high reward playstyle. So I like to do this just to try to bring up the consistency. And if you're really having trouble, keep in mind you can drop like Godslayer Crown just so you can have more armor and stuff like that. And you could even potentially drop Raiment. I don't think Raiment is really like a 100% necessary build. It does turn off Suppressor Stun, but you don't really have that big of an issue with Suppressor as Firewall. It's not like Lightning Ball where like it being on for even a second destroys all of your projectiles, so, or all of your ball lightnings. So you don't even necessarily need to have this on. So if you are having troubles and you're trying to do higher up dungeons, you can feel free to drop these just so you can get more armor, so you can stop getting one shot. Next up, I am using the Loop of Control. So another thing you can do here is do like Prodigy's aspect, where it gives you like mana for every defensive skill you use. It's not bad. It's a good way to stay high on mana, since one of the things that we're taking in here increases our damage by 9% when cast above 50 mana. But I don't know, I found that I was just kind of always high mana and above 50% mana, so I didn't really find that necessary. So I just ran the Loop of Control here and then opted to do that so I could run more damage reduction. And then X-Falls, this is just a pretty godly thing for any dot build. It gives you cooldown reduction, damage over time, lucky hit, all stats, and then just the amount of damage it does when this does proc is pretty high. So it is pretty sweet. And then we're going to have Conceited aspect. So we get a barrier every time we use one of these. So you can cycle through your defensive cooldowns kind of tactically, and then you'll be able to keep up this 25% damage amp. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, if you want more specifics, I'm going to have a build link down below. It'll have Paragon, stuff like that. Real quick to go over this though: Flowing Veins, Anticipation, Prey on the Weak, Metamorphosis, and Ravenous. You know, attack speed, 60% extra dot damage. We can apply Vampiric Curse with Metamorphosis. So, yep. And then Anticipation, because we're a dot build and we run Inferno, so it's going to make our Inferno do even more damage on top of giving it a lower CD, which gives us yet another pull. Yep. But anyways, I'll go ahead and hop on into a dungeon here. Let's see what I have. Let's do a Renegade's Retreat. That sounds fine. Just to give you guys a little show of the build. And the main reason why I like this, again, is just because it was a good way to farm the other builds, because Gravitational Aspect I think is pretty rare. I just now found one and I am level 80, and that was the first one that I found. So come in here, we can pull them. Oop. See here, just kind of shredding through everything, and you can kind of just put firewalls down and then just run. And you'll kind of notice like everything will continue to die. Just try to make sure. Oh, oops. There we go. Just try to make sure that while you're running, I'm not really cycling my defensive cooldowns, but I could be doing that a little bit better, just so you can try to maximize keeping your barrier up, so you can do more damage. But this is very much a mobile build. You can just keep running. Do that. Oh, whoa. Okay then. That was odd. You can see there, you know, just the pull effect. I think those ones, yeah, see right there. Alright. Do that. Oh, get out of there. Oh no, Stormbane's Wrath got me. Yeah, see, that is one of the issues with this build, is you do kind of randomly get one shot when you run this many uniques, but that's okay. It's kind of the playstyle we're running, because that right there is really just a skill issue. I should have just been faster and dodged it. So that just kind of shows you the difference between playstyles. It's like you can run a more safe playstyle. And the other thing too is you also, if you make sure that you keep firewalls down and stuff, you'll know to keep your disobedience stacked and stuff. You got to be kind of nimble. Alright, back to this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Just kind of keep going. Oh, looks like my Godslayer crown just went off there. Yep. Stun. Bam. Keep on moving. Oh. And this isn't really a bad, like, because you get to kind of just keep moving like this, I don't think this is really too bad of like a speed farming build too. in a way, because you can just kind of keep running and never stop. I had pretty good success with this build and like hell tides and stuff like that for this reason. But I really try to stay mobile because I don't want to stop at all. Oh, here we go. Here's the suppressor. Oh, gotta get out of that molten explosion. And oh man, I think I'm actually getting wrecked here by the suppressor. I think it's stopping my firewalls from actually hitting anybody. I think if I... Ooh, getting a little spicy in here. But yeah. And this is just the level 80 version. It'll, here, we'll do this. There we go. There we go. Okay, get that pesky suppressor dead. There we go. That's another one down. Okay, we got one more here. There he is. Oh, gotta get out of that. Don't want to get frozen. And the firestorm thing is, or the fire shield is really useful because it'll make you invuln. Okay. Oh my gosh, hey, how about you stop that? Oh. Oof. Haha. Yep, got hit by the old Stormbanes there again. Okay. And now we can just go to the treasure room. Just gotta keep kiting things. Keep my disobedience stacked. Bam. Not too shabby. Yeah, you can see here, you have a lot of defensive cooldowns, so you can use the flame shield pretty tactically to dodge CC as well, because it does make you invuln. Alright, what the heck, where am I going? I'm running the wrong way. I think it's up here. Maybe. Oh yeah, I went the wrong way. What the heck am I even doing? Oh, no, there it is. Alright, I'm right. Okay. Maybe I'm not as insane as I think I am. Okay. And then with the boss, this is especially important while you run Metamorphosis, because you don't necessarily have like the best way to apply to get their flowing veins to go off, because they don't, because if they're ranged like this guy, they're not going to move. So okay, do that, keep up our... Where'd he go? There he is. Oh, did I miss that guy with my... Nope, okay, no I didn't. Oh, come on, get out of here with that. Got our vulnerable. Yeah. Come on. Come on. And there it is. Okay, alright, well, game's going crazy. Ooh, Razor Plate, what a great Sorcerer thing. Alrighty, well, that's going to be it. So, that's the Firewall build for you guys. Just want to show it to you. Very useful. If you haven't made a sorc yet, I highly recommend playing this until you can get... It's a great way to get the ball lightning farm, because that gravitational aspect has... It eluded me all the way to level 80, so yeah, having something that you can do before then is super important. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. All right.